and we'll do round two. Welcome, everyone. I'm Jennifer with the Texas Tech Parents Association. We're going to get started for the Matador Matinee. We have lots of families joining us tonight. I apologize. Some just jumped off and are rejoining, but we will record this and we will be sending this out to all registration, everyone that registers. A little bit about who we are. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, Families Helping Families, and we give student scholarships. We are going to award faculty and student awards on Thursday night. We have parent ambassadors that are helping in the chat answer your questions today, and lots of different events and stuff during family weekend, ways to get plugged in, and we'll kind of go over that a little bit. But let's go ahead and get Miguel Soto on in here. He is the most important person for this because you want to know what you need at orientation. So Miguel, thank you so much for being on the call with us tonight.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. Good evening, everybody. Like she said, my name is Miguel. I serve as the Associate Director for our office. Our whole entire team here at Texas Tech is primarily responsible for all things related to Red Raider orientation and Red Raider camp. And so my goal and my hope for today is to just make sure that you are all prepared for what's to come over the next couple of months as we get into orientation. So as we think about what that looks like, I want to make sure that we hold off on any questions. My goal is that we can answer all of those questions throughout this presentation, but there is also the Q&A feature down at the bottom that you can drop your questions there. But like I said, hopefully we can get those all situated for you all as we get through this presentation. So I'm going to ask my lovely little friend to proceed to the next slide, and we're just really going to jump straight into it. Again, we're really focused on making sure that you are prepared for your next steps as a Red Raider, but also families supporting your Red Raider and what that looks like. So first and foremost, big congratulations on being admitted to Texas Tech University. We're extremely excited that you've chosen to attend Texas Tech. You've chosen to become a Red Raider. We understand that all of this process can be daunting, it can be exhausting, but I want to assure you, on behalf of the entire institution, you made the right choice. So we're extremely excited that you are here. And so we're going to go over what's to come after this. And we're going to start with, if you'll go on to that next slide, thinking about the admitted student task list and what that task list has to offer. So the admitted student task list is essentially a personalized checklist for you and your student to understand what you need to be doing between now, Red Raider orientation, and even before the first day of class. So the admitted student task list is a personalized list to your student, and it gives all the things related to transitioning to the university, preparing on the academic side of things, thinking about some of the social things, thinking about some of the small things like getting your parking permit, making sure that you're prepared for housing, all the things. So it's an individualized task list that is specific to your student and your student's major. There are some things that you want to make sure that you are taking care of right now, things like taking care of your registration holds. Those are all specific to all things related to your immunizations, your housing, making sure your TSI scores, which I'll speak to here in a second, are in. Just making sure that you are looking through that task list and taking care of things that you can do right now, things that you can take care of right before orientation, and then things that you can take care of right before the first day of class. So I mentioned TSI, the Texas Success Initiative. That's a state mandated exam that essentially, to just sum it up, is making sure that our students are college ready in reading, writing, and math. And so we just want to make sure that you are prepared for what that looks like. If your student has a TSI hold, whether it says TSI new student, TSI needs, those two holds are specific to your student's profile needing to be screened and needing to be reviewed to just make sure that they are compliant in one of those areas. If your student has a hold that says TSI needs math or TSI development, that essentially is meeting with an academic advisor and determining what courses they need to take next. And so you can scan this QR code right here, but essentially the TSI hold is something that applies to all students. Not all students may necessarily have to take a TSI course. They could be compliant, which means they are exempt and not have to necessarily worry about taking these development courses. But all of that is specific to your individual student. So scan this QR code, get some of that information so that you can understand whether or not your student is TSI compliant or get an idea of what your student needs to do in order to become TSI compliant. So make sure that you are taking care of that. That is something that you'll want to for sure do before Red Raider orientation so that it helps expedite and ease your registration process when it comes to courses for the fall semester. Okay, next slide, please. Here's some information that you can see, like I mentioned, that everyone who applied test optional may not be exempt from TSI requirements. So you want to make sure that you're looking at your student account and following what those holds are saying. You can see this contact information right here. If you have questions, maybe you're just wanting to get a little bit clearer of an answer on what specifics your students need to do, you can always give them a call, shoot them an email. Or if you're in Lubbock or near around Lubbock, maybe visiting campus, you can always stop by West Hall. But again, want to make sure that you are taking care of that TSI and really taking a look at it. There are some students that could be compliant based off of ACT scores, SAT scores, even dual credit courses. But again, want to make sure that we're looking at your student individually and submitting those scores as necessary. Next slide, please. Awesome. So that's kind of the pre-summer things that your student and you can be really taking a look at. This QR code right here will send you directly to our website. But our office, like I mentioned, is all things related to Red Raider orientation and Red Raider camp and the admitted student task list, which I just talked about. So right now we're going to really jump into Red Raider orientation and what that looks like. So here on our website, you can navigate our web page, the top tabs there. You can navigate to Red Raider orientation, and there's a frequently asked questions page. You can also see the parent and family page there. You can see if your student's a transfer student, maybe they're coming to a 1-day session, or if there's a first year student coming to a 2-day session. You will kind of look at those individually here in a second, but you can navigate all of our pages. We have a frequently asked questions page for you all to be able to just jump in, see what questions are being asked, and get those answers. These are all questions related to holds, things to expect, do guests need to come, all those things. One of the things that you'll see on the first year page and the transfer pages is this registration information. So when you're thinking about your student registering for Red Raider orientation, these are the things that are actually needing to be verified or things that need to be taken an extra eye out for is just making sure that we're looking at it. Has your student activated their E-Raider account? They need to be admitted, all of those areas. Verifying your student's major, we want to make sure that we get them those majors verified so that we can get them appropriately advised, get them to their academic college here in orientation. Our session dates and availability, you can click all of those little small plus buttons right there to get more information. But one of the key things that we keep constantly being asked is what dates are orientation over the summer. We have 28 sessions over the course of 2.5 months, so that's a lot of sessions. And we ask students and families to make sure that you're logging into the registration portal and clicking on the dates tab because that is where you're going to get the most information specific to what dates are available for your student. Right now, we're seeing a lot of capacities. And so when we're thinking about what dates become available, always log in. You can see more dates. You can log in right now. You can log in later. This is really a good opportunity for you to start seeing what dates are available, especially if you're trying to change plans over the summer. But again, this registration information right here is all things related to our registration portal and how you can navigate that. So we're going to go on to the next slide and we're going to talk a little bit more about what things that you should be doing before Red Raider orientation this summer. So constantly check your Texas Tech University email. This is great practice now because this is the official form of communication for the institution. Professors, academic advisors, personal emails will not be utilized during their time here at Texas Tech. So students, if you're on this call and you have not checked your TTU email, want to make sure that you're checking that because that's where all of our information specific to orientation is going as well. It's just good practice as we get into your time as a Texas Tech student. Admitted student task list, we just talked about it. Online orientation modules actually went live last week. So there are some things that you want to make sure that you're taking a look at. And as you can see here, all the other things that you just want to make sure that you are glancing at, making sure that none of it is specific to you. All of these items right here are all things that can be found on your admitted student task list. And so if you see it on there, there's an action that you want to make sure that you are taking. That what to bring section right there is all specific to things as you prepare for your travel to Texas Tech and orientation, an opportunity for you to just understand what you need to do to prepare for your time here over the summer. Next slide, please. Okay, so a big question that we constantly get asked are parents, guardians, supporters, family members attending orientation. Do they attend orientation? The big answer, the short answer is that it's not a requirement for guests, but as you can see here, it's very, very, very highly encouraged. We have parent and family programming. We also have some sessions where it's just family, some sessions where it's just students. But you can see here that we really give the students and the families the opportunity to know what support exists like here at Texas Tech, get a feel for campus resources, get connected with academic colleges, academic advisors, so you get to meet faculty, administrators, staff, current students, and obviously other Texas Tech families. We're really trying to engrave this community aspect here, and we have a lot of opportunities for families to get engaged with each other. Obviously, this is your students' home away from home, and so this is a great opportunity for you to become familiar with campus, visit Lubbock, see some residence halls, and a whole lot more. You can see there that a big note section is that parental participation with advising varies by college. Every college does advising differently. They do individual advising, do group advising. And so we want to make sure that when you're preparing to come to orientation, understanding that you may be in a college where they take the students and do advising separately because that's what students are going to be doing, throughout their time here at Texas Tech. Or you may be with a college that does group advising and there is space availability so that parents and families can be a part of that advising process. And so just kind of want to make sure that you are aware of that as you consider coming to Texas Tech and consider joining us for Red Raider orientation, just knowing that it may vary and it really does depend on your student's college. The other thing that I want to encourage you to do is that if you are planning to attend Red Raider orientation as a guest, it is very encouraged that you register now. As I mentioned earlier, we're seeing capacity issues, which is where the date availability comes into play. We're excited that we've got a lot of interest here at Texas Tech for this summer and this upcoming fall. But we're running into a lot of space capacities, which I'll talk about here in a second as well. But if you're thinking about registering as a guest and attending Red Raider orientation, my recommendation to you is to go in and have your student register you as a guest and pay the fee that's associated with the guest or guest, however many they are wanting to bring. The fees vary by transfer session and our 2-day session. So all of that information can be found on the registration portal as well. So one of the things I kind of touched a little bit on Red Raider orientation and what that looks like. Again, an opportunity for you and your students to get a feel for what it means to be a Red Raider, the support that exists here at Texas Tech, finding community, building relationships with each other, both current students and family members. The other program that I want to highlight is Red Raider Camp. This is a really big opportunity for your students to really dive deep into the experience of being a Red Raider. It is a history, traditions, leadership based program. And so we do a lot of team bonding activities. We do a lot of reflection. And we know that students are leaving this program with friendships, mentors, and a good experience and really building this excitement of what it means to be a Red Raider as we get ready for classes. So Red Raider orientation is required. So there is no fee paid up front for students. We charge that fee to the first semester bill. But Red Raider Camp is an optional program that you can add on to your students' experience if that's not something that you're already doing. I do have to make the note and add the caveat that we are, as I mentioned earlier, seeing a lot of capacity issues in the sense that we have reached capacity. So, Danny, you are posing a great question in there that we do, it depends on your students' availability. So when you log in, you can select the session type for both orientation and camp, and you can see what dates are available. You can log in today and see no dates, and you may log in tomorrow and see 4 dates. So if that's something that you're really interested in, I encourage you to continuously look back and see if that becomes available for you and snag that spot. There is a $250 fee paid up front in order to secure that spot, which is why it's an optional program. Um, so again, a lot of capacity issues. You can see all those dates there. It's essentially adding on Red Raider Camp to your orientation experience. So students will come to orientation on Thursday, Friday with families, and then Red Raider Camp is a student-only program that starts that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's a great culmination of this Red Raider spirit, being able to build some excitement. We get them advised, we get them registered for that first semester of class, and then we get to celebrate all the things. A lot of fun things that we do over the course of 4 days. So if that's something that your student is interested in and you want to share that experience or give that experience to them, log in, see if there's any availability. And then if you don't see anything, log in again tomorrow, log in the next day. this is a great opportunity for you to be able to see what becomes available. So if that's something that you're interested in, you'll just want to log in and see what's available there. So that kind of wraps up the big overarching conversation of what Red Raider orientation and Red Raider camp looks like, what to expect. I do want to kind of provide some of this insight to y'all, probably getting some advanced knowledge. You will start receiving communication 2 weeks out from your students' orientation session. So our first email is going to be making sure that you are thinking about all the things that you need to do. So taking care of your holds, completing your modules, thinking about that at a student task list. That first email 2 weeks out is going to just essentially serve as a reminder. 1 week out, you're going to be getting information on what to expect. These are all the event logistic um, things that you can think about, all of those details, like where to park, the schedule, where to find the schedule, what time check-in is, where does check-in happen. Some of that information you can find right now on our website. So if you're asking yourself, where am I supposed to go? What does that look like? All the things, you'll want to make sure that you just spend some time on the website looking at all of that. But like I said, 1 week out, you'll start to get some of that information so that you can prepare for your orientation and your students' orientation as well. And then 1 week out, you'll be able to get some information related to kind of like our scheduling, kind of some small reminder details, kind of the small reminders of what things will look like for that check-in process, where to park, all of those things. You'll get that about 3 days out. So we're trying to create a series of emails so that we stay timely and get connected with you all before coming to orientation. But if you have any questions, like that QR code right there is specific to our website. But if you have any questions, you can find our phone number there. We operate Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you call us on Saturday, maybe Sunday, we won't be answering that phone call. We won't be responding to an email. So just kind of keep that in mind. But if you're around Lubbock, maybe you're visiting campus over the next couple of weeks, stop by our office, West Hall, room 205. You can always pop in and ask questions, but you can see our email and our phone number there as well if you have any questions. I'm going to pop over into the chat real quick because I saw a few questions related to Red Raider orientation and Red Raider camp, and I want to make sure that we address some of those things. If our student is registered for RRO and RC, what is the process to try for a different date if there's a conflict? Denise, give us a call. That's a very unique situation. We'll do what we can to make sure that we can accommodate that based off of all our capacities, but feel free to give us a call. There was a question about attending Red Raider orientation at one point and then Red Raider camp at another point. Unfortunately, our system is set up to accommodate the 4-day weekend right then and there. But we also do it intentionally because the students who spend the time at Red Raider orientation build connections with each other. And we see those connections really grow and expand during their time at Red Raider camp. And so we don't have that in place right now because we've seen from an experiential standpoint, it really does impact our students greatly, and we want to make sure that they have that experience. If your student is already signed up for for RRO, can they also sign up for Red Raider Camp? Yes, depending on availability. So like I said, you can log into the portal, click on the session type selection, click on Red Raider Orientation and Red Raider Camp Combined Session. And if you see something available, you want to select that spot, pay that fee and snag it. Right now, as I mentioned, orientation and camp sessions cannot be decoupled. They're all coupled together. So if you are wanting to attend orientation and attend Red Raider camp if your student wants to attend Red Raider camp, but they're already signed up for an orientation session, then they will likely have to change that orientation. So just something to keep in mind. Same question. If you've already registered for orientation, you can go back and add that as well.
Miguel, we get this a lot. We get asked a lot. Is it true that during orientation, if you have that in July, that the slim pickings for classes?
So it's a misconception in the sense of slim picking for classes.
Yeah.
What I like to tell students and what I like to tell families is, we all have a preferred schedule. We all have a preferred timeline. We all have preferences in what this looks like. And so when you're coming in the later part of July, you may not likely get your preferred schedule, which means maybe you're getting 8 a.m. classes, maybe you're getting a 4 p.m. class, maybe you're not getting all of your classes back to back. That's where kind of the reality comes into play is you're getting the classes that you need that are specific to your degree plan. Our advisors really work hard, and we connect with our advisors to make sure that we are looking at opportunities and being creative in where we can provide classes that are specific to a student's degree However, it may not necessarily be the preference in schedule. And so that's where I really like to kind of shed some reality, and you will get classes that you need for your academic degree, though it may not necessarily be at your preferred time. And I think that that's just something that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to picking classes. It really is just more so thinking about you may not necessarily have your preferred schedule. But you will get classes, and our academic advisors will make sure that you get those, or your students get the classes that they need, that are specific to their degree.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about ways to support your student at Texas Tech. One way is to join the Parents Association. We have local events throughout Texas. We also have online events and webinars like today's event. We have upcoming events, new family reception that we're going to send you information out on how to register for that in the follow-up email. Also, sign up for the Parent and Family Relations, the Red Raider Family Network, and webinars that they host. So they are part of the university and they host lots of information. They also have chats online that you can ask questions in the Red Raider Family Network. Definitely get plugged in with that. You can never get enough information. The FERPA is signed electronically by the student. They talk a lot about this during the orientations, and it's just an important document that you do have to get signed for the university to be able to talk to you regarding the student. One thing we want to really do is, on your way to Lubbock and this during this next couple months is really just discuss your expectations and how you want to stay in touch. There's creative ways to stay in touch. Kind of set a time based on their schedule so that they have their freedom to get plugged in with Lubbock, but you also, have that connection and family time that you want as well. Some important dates that we want to talk about is the students need to check their TTU email closer to June. Um, that is when they're going to select they call it tech in now instead of move in. They select their tech in date and time. Also look in the portal as that is where that they will actually select their time slot. I know that's a big deal is trying to figure out what time you're going to move in and how that all works. Tech-In is actually going to begin on Thursday, August 20th, and it's going to go through Sunday, August 23rd. Please note that some groups are approved to move in early starting Friday, August 14th. That is those that are doing the rush or the spirit squads if they're in the Davis College. So there will be some where they can go in there. The band is another one that actually does have a select move-in time. So you have that. The dining plans may be used on the day that the students move in. So right when they move in, they can start using their dining plan. So that is a great benefit. Raider Welcome is goes on from August 20th to August 30th. And you're probably thinking, what's Raider Welcome? Tech does a wonderful job, and also businesses and stuff around the Lubbock area will do a huge welcome to campus. They'll have free events. They'll have lots of stuff going on. It's ways for your student to get plugged into campus. Find different events, go down and meet someone, whether it's in their residence hall or on campus, something that they may have an interest in. There's lots of ways to get plugged in. There's an entire website on that. It's called Raider Welcome. The first day of classes is Monday, August 24th. So this year they move in typically the weekend right before, and then they start classes on Monday. All right. Some upcoming events, and one thing I want to talk to you about the move in, and they'll go over this, and we'll go over it in the new family reception, but less is more. So you don't have to get everything where you're at. They're not going to run out of everything. There's lots of stores that you can have it delivered in Lubbock and or pick it up in Lubbock when you're there. So just please don't fall into that you have to get everything planned in advance. There will be lots of stuff in time to get that. All right. Upcoming events, we have the new family reception. We're going to host a webinar on Tuesday, June 23rd at 7 p.m. Central Time. You can register for that. The QR code will take you directly into that. What that covers is the specifics about Tech-In, additional information about Family Weekend, things to buy, things you don't necessarily need, a lot of information will be in there. We understand that this is like drinking from a fire hose. Everything you can, there's lots of information out there. Just take it in small doses, attend different webinars that you can. Also connect with us on Facebook, join the Red Raider Network, like we talked about, and just there's lots of different ways. One thing we also want to invite you guys to is the Red Raiders student send off event. We have several events throughout the Texas area, and we have additional ones that we are working on finalizing the details and getting those set up for you. But if you'll go to that link, you can actually see the different sites that we have. We have the Dallas. We have El Paso's already up. There's one going to be in San Antonio. It's already available. Houston's already available online. Austin and Rio Grande Valley will be up soon. We hear you, Midland, Odessa. They have a requested one there, and we have some parents that are getting ready to get a location on that and get that going. We would love to have you guys join us. If you ever want to volunteer or know a way to get plugged in, want a way to get plugged in, just let us know, and we will definitely reach out to you and help you get that going. All right, save the date for Family Weekend. Many of you may not know, but Family Weekend has already been announced. It is Friday, September 25th through Sunday, the 27th of September. And that is an important weekend. Strongly encourage you guys to go to it if you can. Obviously, the tickets and hotels and all that is the question, right? So TTPA members do have a discount, get discount to hotels. We have several hotel blocks that we have with hotels out there. Please keep in mind that it is a football weekend, so the rates are increased during any football weekend that they have. The game is against Sam Houston, which is great because it's not a Big 12 game. So hopefully, we're going to have lots of chances for families to attend and be there. The question was, when does Family Weekend football tickets become available? And we will go live with those here in the next week or two. We are waiting for the final links, and once we get that out, we will announce it at the same time on to all of the TTPA members, as well as it will be announced on the Red Raider Family Network. So you will have to sign in to the Red Raider Family Network or to the TTPA site to be able to see those. So go ahead and get that set up if you are not doing that already. All right. Different ways to stay connected with your student. We have the student send-offs. We have the Road Raider Safe Travel Network. That's a list of TTPA members, families who can assist students when they're driving to and from Lubbock. In September, we also have events called Yahoo Boohoo. After your student heads out to tech, it's a way to get with other parents, family members in the area and connect, ask additional questions, you'll have questions after they end up going there. So we kind of just meet you where you're at. Some chapters will have game watching parties. They'll do wrap it ups where they make care packages before the finals or midterms, and then additional game watching parties. Our website is texastechparents.org. Members get our monthly newsletter. If you attend orientation, when you attend orientation, you will get an email from us after you attend with some more information. But you guys are ahead of the game because you are on these calls already getting information. So kudos to you for getting plugged in early because it's a lot of information. One thing that Miguel said is that you parents or family members are not required to attend. We highly encourage people to attend, and um, we highly encourage them to attend. It's just more ears to hear the information because, again, it is a lot of information. So just make sure that um, the more the merrier that can attend, it's better. All right, ways to get involved. We have a parent ambassador program. We have volunteers, ways to volunteer. You can get involved at one of the send-offs. We have that. We also have different ways. We have our membership um, is on our website. You can click on the QR code that says join now, or the other one on the left is to go to our website and just see all the things we have to offer. I want to go ahead and see if there's any questions that you guys have. We really appreciate you guys attending tonight. A copy of this will be sent to you, and it will be shared also in our newsletter and then on our website. All right. If there are no questions, we're going to go ahead and thank everyone for attending. And do students stay in the dorm during orientation and camp? And the answer is yes. They do not have to, I do not believe, but we encourage them to stay in there. That's their first time to actually get the experience of what it is in there. So encourage your students. I know we want them home and we want them with us, but encourage this time. This really is an exciting time. Thank you guys very much. Have a great evening.